Would you like to learn something interesting today? I knew you would say yes. It would seem that you're pretty interested in improving your English. Well, I would love to help. Let's dive in.
Welcome to another Happy English podcast coming to you from New York City. And here's your English teacher, Michael.
All right, thank you, John, and thanks, everyone. It's Michael here from Happy English, and I help people speak English better. And this is Happy English Podcast, episode 746, using would. That's right, would. According to the dictionary, would is the past of will, which is the future. But talking about the future in the past is just one part of today's podcast English lesson, where we're going to look at 10 different ways we use would in everyday English. Let's get the ball rolling. First of all, we use would to make polite requests or offers. Would you like some tea? Would you mind closing the door? Would you like to join us for dinner? Speaking of being polite, we use would to give polite suggestions or advice. I would recommend trying the chocolate cake. It's delicious. I would suggest calling ahead to make a reservation. You would do well to finish your homework before going out. Another polite way that we use would is to talk about our preferences. In situations like these, we use phrases like would rather or would prefer. I would rather stay home tonight than go out. I think Kim would prefer to eat at a quiet restaurant. They would rather take the train than drive. On the grammatical side, we use would in conditional sentences to talk about hypothetical and imaginary situations. If I had $1 million, I would buy a new house. She would travel the world if she didn't have to work. If I saw an alien in my bathtub, I would run away. Speaking of conditionals, we use would have in the third conditional to talk about hypothetical and imaginary situations in the past that didn't happen. If I had known about the party, I would have gone. She would have been here on time if she hadn't missed the bus. They would have succeeded if they had tried harder. Next up, we use would with wish to express a wish or desire, especially in phrases like, I wish you would, or I wish she would, and so on. I wish you would listen to me. She wishes he would call her more often. I wish it would stop raining. We use would to talk about repeated actions or habits in the past, similar to the phrase used to. When I was a child, I would visit my grandparents every summer. When she was a kid, Jenny's dad would read her a story every night before bed. Every morning, my grandmother would walk to the bakery to get fresh bread. Batting number 8 for today, we use would to show that someone is willing to do something. I would be happy to help you move that desk. She said she would lend me her car if I needed it. They said they would gladly volunteer for the beach cleanup on Saturday. Next, we use would to express doubt or uncertainty. I would imagine she's very busy right now. It would seem they're not coming at all. You would think they'd let us know about any changes in the policy. Are you still with me? I would hope so, because finally we use would to talk about the future in the past. Imagine this situation. Early this morning, you ran into your friend Jenny at the coffee shop. Jenny said, I can't really talk now because I'm late for work. I'll call you tonight. Jenny promised to call you later. Now, it's 8 p.m. on the same day. You haven't heard from Jenny yet, but you expect that she will call you. You expect her to call because she said, "I will call you tonight." You can talk about what she said this morning using would, like this. Jenny said that she would call me tonight. Here's another example. You love the classic movie Casablanca, and several weeks ago, you recommended that movie to a friend of yours. Your friend texted you to say that he loved the movie. You can say, "I knew you would love the movie." Just remember, when you use would to talk about the future in the past, all of the verbs are in the past. Jenny said that she would call me tonight. I knew you would love the movie. Keep in mind, the best way to remember this and any other word or phrase in English is to take that word or phrase, write it in a sentence that's true for you or true in your world, and then memorize your sentences. For today's podcast English lesson, you're going to need to write 10 of those sentences. Hey, did you know that you can get the chance to practice this kind of English with me directly? Yeah, you can get more practice using your English when you join my Podcast Learners Study Group. There, you can make new friends, join us for live group lessons every week where we practice these podcast lessons together. Plus, you get access to the PDF transcript and audio download for every Happy English podcast in the past and in the future. And on top of that, each episode has exercises where you can practice this English point with speaking and writing checked by me. To learn more, just visit myhappyenglish.com and choose podcast lesson 746. Remember, learning another language is not easy, but it's not impossible, and I'm here to help you on your journey.
This podcast was brought to you by Happy English. Please visit myhappyenglish.com. Show your support for Happy English by leaving us a review. Get English, get happy, Happy English.